don't have any regrets. They get upset when they trying just to rest, and I'm still right at my desk, make them all feel so pressed. Yeah, but that's the test. If you wanna be the best, it ain't easy, it's a mess. If you wanna have success, you keep going like possessed. Drive it deep into your chest. Every failure is a test. Learn the most, leave the rest. Ain't nobody know what I've been through. Ain't nobody know what I can do. I'm ready to go into battle. I'll put on a show as a dazzle. I'm about to take off. Never gonna stop till I'm chilling at the top. No, I'm about to take off. Never gonna stop till I'm chilling at the top. So get out, right on where to stay. You can try another day, yeah. 'Cause I love the taste of this, the waste, the little first place, yeah. Gonna stop till I'm chilling at the top, yeah. Gonna stop till I'm chilling, till I'm chilling, yeah. Gonna stop till I'm chilling at the top, yeah. Gonna stop till I'm chilling at the top, yeah. I like to get paid, that's why I work every day. I'll be making money till I'm in my grave. Don't care what they say, I'll buy time with my money. Left to the bank cause it's funny, the money keep coming, I manifest it. Seen these lyrics and you'll get it. I'm the bank, come invest it. I get tracked and I have it. Money finds me attractive. I'm the type to make commas, turn a profit. I'm the boss, Willy Wonka, but it ain't chocolate. Yeah, I'm just being honest, I work for this shit. I'm usually modest, but this beat lit, so I'm going off thoughtless, talking my shit. Yeah, I'ma be the hottest designer in drip. I'm just coming with the rawness. I gotta admit that I'm usually modest, but I work hard for my shit. I'll do the work, yeah, I'll do it till it hurts. I'll invest in my future, I'll invest in the purse. I wanna be so rich, life changes, and I don't ever think about how much I just pay it. Yeah, it's a dream, the American dream. Live on top, don't stop till you got everything. But there's balance, cause this life is a challenge. You gotta live in the now while building. I'm the type to make commas, turn a profit. I'm the boss, Willy Wonka, but it ain't chocolate. Yeah, I'm just being honest, I work for this shit. I'm usually modest, but this beat lit, so I'm going off thoughtless, talking my shit. Yeah, I'ma be the hottest designer in drip. I'm just coming with the rawness. I gotta admit that I'm usually modest, but I work hard for my shit. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So keep working till it's hurting, cause that's when you start deserving everything you want, everything you need. Trust the process, yeah, you got this. Keep on working till you bleed. Yeah, I've been there, yeah, I've done that. 10 long years of breaking my back, but now I'm up here, never looking back. I got more dreams that I wanna go attack. Keep on going, keep on moving, never give up. I'll keep going, I can prove just what I'm made of. I got that fire in me, got that desire in me. I'm never tired, I'll be pushing till I'm finally free. I was made to break away from the pack, to challenge, to fight, and to carve my own path. This world wasn't made for the weak, they don't last. Survival of the fittest, so be vicious and attack. I'm the type to make commas, turn a profit. I'm the boss, Willy Wonka, but it ain't chocolate. Yeah, I'm just being honest, I work for this shit. I'm usually modest, but this beat lit, so I'm going off thoughtless, talking my shit. Yeah, I'ma be the hottest designer in drip. I'm just coming with the rawness. I gotta admit that I'm usually modest, but I work hard for my shit.
Can you see me breathing? Standing here without you. And I can see it's midnight. I cannot live without you. I'm terrified to see you. Hiding in the darkness. Colder when it's twilight. And I've been feeling restless. Too close, too much.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Cal, I don't know about you, but allergies are flying around up here in Minnesota. It is that time of year. So my voice is going to be raspy tonight, my man. But how are you?
I'm hanging in there so far. I mean, farmers haven't been culling the crops yet, so I mean, I'm holding out for maybe a couple more weeks, and then once they start, I'm going to be ravaged within.
We don't have
no time.
We don't have the time and the luxury to wait. We kind of have to get it done when it is season for the crops. It is season for the crops, and we are out there 24/7. So yeah, I don't know. It's just that time of year. I always get sick. Doesn't help. I was sick a couple weeks ago too, but craziness is what it is. But anyway, we got a pretty regular show tonight. Nothing too special. We're gonna look over playoffs round 2. I'd love to say that there were a lot of good matchups, but there were only really a couple, and they were not in the AL. And then we'll kind of look at next week, or this week I should say, make our predictions and just kind of maybe foreshadow what we'll talk about either next week or maybe the week after when we start looking at some off-season type stuff. So with that being said, let's just move on to games from last week, if that works for you.
We're gonna rip off the Band-Aid then real quick and just get the first one out of the way.
Might as well. I have it pulled up, so might as well. Simply because, and remind me, can you see the screen that I have pulled up?
No, I just had the Streamlabs stream open, and then I have Fantrax on my other screen.
Yeah. So I have my pitching pulled up, right? And
I wrote that down.
I said last week that if I could have starting pitchers who scored double-digit starts, that I might have a chance, right? And so if you look at my relievers, my 4 main relievers that I've had pretty much all year, Finnegan I guess I traded for, but all 3 of them doing their job, get me almost double-digit points, all of them. It was great. Had a great week. But then you come up here and you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Urena did not start. So he does not even count.
That's not bad though.
Urena does not start. But Cal, look at this. How many starts does it say I had last week?
Let's pull it up.
I had
7. Full max.
7.
Maxed out.
I maxed out. I agree. I had like 10 to choose from. It was great. So if only 6 of these guys started, if you had to look at their scores and guess who started 2 games, who do you think it would be?
Well, I would believe Justin Verlander would be the guy.
Yeah, he started twice for me, and
because there's no way you give up 13 earned runs without starting twice.
Could not get positive. Get positive. So yeah, long story short, didn't deserve the win by any means. Morton obviously pitched well. Urena's been an absolute dude, not taking up a start, but scoring almost double digits, 3 of his last 4, or 4 of his last 5. And then Kirby finally did something well. But other than that, I mean, I got nothing out of Darvish coming back. Rhea had a dud. Wicks kind of had a dud. He was against the Yankees, so it kind of is what it is. But
my Kirby start was pretty early in the week, so it was almost like hope was still definitely alive.
Yeah,
it was like it's exactly what I needed. Maybe I can make this thing happen.
Well, I mean, if Verlander scores, let's say, 15 points per his 2 starts, right? Like a normal Verlander start, maybe. I got 30 points there, and then if we just get to double digits,
cut it down to 50.
That's another, that's another 15, 20. So I'm looking at I'm at least over 300, and it's at least doable. Right?
I think that's getting over 300. I think was probably the main goal versus winning.
Oh my gosh!
I think getting over 300 looks a lot better on the, for the resume.
Correct, especially with how my team's been playing. It's been pretty garbage, but yeah, it is what it is. Bats weren't great either. I only got 11 points from J-Ram on the week. Possibly one of his worst weeks of the year.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I obviously was expecting Steven to certainly win. I just wish I could have made it a little more competitive, but
not even a Santander homer.
Dude,
I mean, what are the odds of that?
He comes out tonight or yesterday, and just freaking puts up a 10 spot. It's like crazy, but it is what it is. All right, let's move on to anything. I guess anything else you wanted to add for that series? Obviously, Steven played very well across the board.
We probably should give Steven some props. I mean,
shut up about my team.
Because he still put up 340 points. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
And it was led by the pitching, which again was something maybe you weren't able to. I mean, he had Shoto at 28, Ober 24, Wheeler 24, Freeland 22, I mean, he had
Frankie
starts
16.
at the wazoo.
Well, it's just, and it's crazy too, because like that is great, right? His starters did what they should do, got him double-digit points. It was great. But like you look at all of his relievers too. Yep. My goodness, he's got, you add all that up, that's more than 4 of my starts, throughout the week.
He had choices
so
too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you look at his bench, and he still had an 18-point performance from Fernandez throughout well, I guess as a reliever throughout the week. Yeah,
but still.
And then had a Freeland start that he could have used for 15 points.
Super deep, man. If he's going to beat John this week, it's going to be because they do that again, and he gets the same kind of production out of his bats that he got last week.
He's running into a pretty pitching strong, a very pitching heavy team. So
very much so. And I heard
it's going to have to happen again.
Bueller's not having a good start tonight. He's only got a 4-point start from him tonight, so I know he's struggling there. But
yeah, it's not going to play.
All right, let's move on to the other AL matchup here. Unfortunately, this one was even an even bigger blowout. Seth did not have a good week at all, and I know he mentioned that. But taking a look at this game here. He's got 2 pitchers in the negative. They're both, I guess, Holmes wasn't a starter. So they're both relievers, thankfully. But he did not. He had 1, 2. He only had 3 pitchers in double digits.
It's really just Musgrove. I mean, that's the main.
That's really the only
stand-up performance. I wouldn't really give too much props to anyone else here. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough rotation to look at. Just for. They were not that bad throughout the year. It's just a bad week.
Yes.
And it's not time to have a bad week, honestly. Yeah. And you leave, Luis Gil, you make the choice and don't go with Gil, and he burns you for 25. That's also pretty tough. Yeah. But again, it's a drop in the bucket. I mean,
Snell doing crazy. 42. Snell hitting 42 pitches in 1 inning. Like,
I mean, that's malpractice on the manager at that point. That's crazy.
It's just unbelievable.
I mean, I think my record was like 30, and I wanted to kill myself. So I cannot imagine getting up to 42. That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, you were saying John's team obviously did the opposite of that. Doubled his pitching points total, which is pretty nuts. I think you were going to say something about Jones.
Yeah. Well, Jones with the double start. 36 when you need it. 13 Ks in 13 innings, which is
good as he gets.
Dude's been lights out after his injury. Which, I mean, I believe this entire rotation is pretty sustainable. I don't think they're going to have a dumpster of a week.
Yeah, you don't think so.
They're just so deep. Although Reynaldo Lopez with 22 points last week, but is now injured this week.
Yeah, I saw
left his
that.
Start early.
He got taken out. Oof.
Yeah, I'm currently in a championship matchup, and my opponent has Lopez, and I was like, yes. I assume he left with like some type of virus from what I heard.
No, it said, well, I don't know, but it says Lopez's velocity was down a couple notches in the frame before he was ultimately removed.
Oh, so it's like the actual. I thought he got scratched before his start. Nope. So my B.
Yeah.
But we dig a little deeper, and even on offense, you still have some at least better production overall than anything that the Mariners were able to put out. A 30-point week from Churio, a 26-point week from Nathaniel Lowe. Just even the role players like Lowe and Gallo, Pena, all coming together for what needed to happen was just like a big dominant performance going into next week.
Yeah, Churio had a 4-game stretch where he went 13-0, 13-10.
So I mean,
my goodness,
that's bananas.
Yeah, that's
and he's been hot, I would say, since like the All-Star break. So Churio has been really stringing it together. I wish he had kind of like a better rookie campaign. He's getting outshined a little bit by the Skeens and the Merrills. But honestly, he's holding his own. He's obviously super young still. Yeah. So Churio is going to be a great contract on the Tigers roster.
Yeah, he'll be good. He'll be good.
Yeah, he will be great. So
cool. All right, so let's move on to the more exciting matchups. Do you have a preference? Which one you want to do first?
Let's go with we'll leave my champion for last. We'll go with the upset here with the Pirates and Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, we thankfully, I shouldn't say thankfully, but we are not going to have to face off and make our picks easy this week by me just picking Jeff and you just picking Joe. So yeah, it made it kind of interesting this week. It's crazy that we somehow are here again with what I will say, I think there's a couple of things playing into it. One, Jeff didn't get the 7 starts, which I think is a big deal. Obviously, probably wouldn't obviously have saved him, but would have certainly made it closer potentially. And then him only scoring 309, that's gotta be the lowest he's scored in months.
I have to go back, but I don't recall that low of a score from the Cardinals
ever. I mean, it's crazy. The fact that he just barely made 300 is crazy. And I mean, I'll let you kind of talk about what was the cause of that.
Well, I would say exactly what you had said, but the pitching's not even that bad. It's just the offense just did not show up.
Yeah,
not a single guy got over 20 points.
Man.
You look at Duke's team, and he's got 5.
Yeah,
over 20 points.
Yeah.
And he's got Gunnar with 38. So
crazy.
that's a massive difference in production. Just the fact that no one really stood out on the Cardinals offense for a week is in and of itself surprising, because the pitching's not that bad. Putting up 170 from your pitching is not something to shake your head at without getting 7 starts.
Yeah,
and even like really lights out starts. There's not like a start that blows you away.
Yeah,
I think the high they have here is
Sanchez,
of 24.
Yeah,
which is not like it's a really good start, but it's not crazy.
Yeah, no, it's nothing bad. It's nothing really. I mean, and he even like Halsey got him 22, right? Like,
and it's still a 300-point week. It's not like he was scrub.
Yeah,
so
just very underwhelming for him.
It was a just horrible team to do it against.
Yep.
But I mean, this Pirates team, I think we even had mentioned it a couple times that they'll probably be better later in the year just because they had so many injuries at the beginning.
Yeah,
and they were looking pretty like it was a pretty slow start, and they were looking pretty sloppy. It's like, this is not the Pirates team that we know. Yada yada.
No.
Sure enough, crystal ball later, and they are on absolute fire,
killing it.
So many arms to choose from. They're all performing well, and of course, just a young core of offensive studs to boot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Lighting it up right now.
Looking through the lineup, it's just like, good God, like I would take all of these guys.
You imagine that in real life, having to face that as a pitcher. It's just crazy that this is a 30-teamer type team. I mean, it's just it's an all-star. Both lineups are all-star teams.
Totally. It'll make this week very, very interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So obviously Duke moving on. NLCS here, and he is going to be going up against your favorite,
the Dodgers.
Joe Dodgers. The coin flip of the century. Right.
I mean, he's lost it a couple times. I feel like
he has.
To be fair, I think it's very anti-statistics to just assume that the next flip is going to be in his favor. It's still 50-50, Joe. I hate to break it to you, but he knows that. But so we'll see what happens.
Yep.
But dude, putting up 350 in the playoffs and walking away with nothing,
crazy
sucks.
Crazy.
I would just, I would do some recount the votes or something, because this sucks, man.
Yeah,
it's no bueno to go this far and walk away with nothing. So shout out the Mets for a great season. They turned this ship around. I think all the teams that we talked about prior were going to be playoff teams.
Yes,
this Mets team was kind of the main one on the brink of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they turned into just like a juggernaut.
Yep.
Parallel with the Dodgers and Cardinals. Essentially, I put them above the Pirates at the time. And again, Mets did not do bad. I mean, they had an insane week from Schwarber.
Yeah.
53 points, man of the hour. 12 hits and 26 at bats. 5 of those hits being homers. 11 RBIs. I mean, that alone would beat my team, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Well, the hitting, he beat Joe by 14 points with the hitting. So that obviously means that, the pitching is where the big difference was. And I think, like, looking, I know Castillo only got him a 4-point start on Sunday, which obviously hurt him. But then, let's see, Ursig got Ursig didn't pitch.
And Joe had quality starts, because he got to kind of pick and choose who he started. You look at his bench, and Joe has like 87 points on his bench of guys he just didn't use, and that's because he got the double starts from Gilbert, double starts from Sale.
What a pickup, by the way! Like,
oh my word.
Gilbert is obviously an insane pickup, and then Sale obviously a huge pickup as well, but having such a resurgence this year too. Like, those two could very easily win him the whole thing.
Like, I remember, like, when Sale got dealt, and it was just like, that sucks. Like, the Braves are gonna love having him, but it was more of like a compliment to Strider. It wasn't gonna be like,
100%.
okay, well, MVP Chris, and Dodgers have been a beneficiary the entire time. So
well, imagine what his season or his career would look like if if he would have been able to stay healthy. And I mean, it's just we've seen I shouldn't say so many, but the healthy seasons we have seen have just been incredible, right? Like,
well, I don't know how anyone hits off of him.
Yeah,
his arm angle is so wacky. The horizontal break is nuts.
It's just
I mean,
crazy.
he'll start a pitch out from the freaking concession stand and it'll be over the plate.
It's so crazy,
ridiculous.
Yeah,
and then of course we also not mentioning Iglesias, Raciel Iglesias, his closer.
That's what I was just gonna say. The huge thing for Joe, I mean, Sale was huge, Gilbert was huge, but then it's literally Iglesias,
which
who
is
essentially was scoring like a starter, 100%. And then after that, like he's got some teens and some single digits, even a couple negatives. Like, so he obviously, and he still scored 206 points from his pitching staff. Like that's just anyone who has a week like that is probably going to win unless your bats are just trash.
Well, I mean,
right?
having a closer come out in four times in a week is already crazy in itself.
Nuts.
To come out in high leverage spots where he comes out as like the winner each time, with 3 saves and a win, within 5 innings pitched. I mean, that's a crazy week,
and they were clean,
and it was the deciding factor.
They were clean.
I mean, they won by less than 36 points, so it definitely was a huge factor in this. And we'll tip our cap to Joe and say that was luck based for 100%.
Yeah, it'll be very, very, very interesting. Before we kind of move on to picks and stuff for this week, just looking at a couple of the consolation matchups from last week. Just really quickly, Zach's Brewers still running strong. He scored over 300 this week. I know he was bragging about that in chat. And again, we said probably him and the Nationals probably meeting at the end here unless something crazy happens. But so he's obviously moving on. Let's see who else we got. The battle of the lowlies, I guess. The Padres.
They're staying alive. That's my pick. They're staying alive. I don't know how they made it.
Won by 11, 125 points. Won them the week. Tampa 240 over the Red Sox. Dad finally fell out there, unfortunately. And then even Washington only scoring 282, a little low for them. But again, they'll obviously move on too. So that's good. And then I don't know what are we calling this? A survivor bracket, I guess, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So the Yankees dismantled the Royals. Love to see it. Philly moves on against the Cubs. Giants scored over 300, beating the Marlins. And, Blue Jays beat the A's pretty handily there as well. So,
did I miss something about the Brewers where they just got really good at the end of the year?
I mean, Zach's always had a decent team. Maybe it's been injuries or something like that hurt him because he's got like Raggins.
I mean, he was never like a bad team.
No, he was always
division.
Close, but
I mean, put up 300 was not something that I thought the Brewers were doing.
It's a big deal
on a consistent basis.
It's a big deal. He got a 23-point start from Aldegary.
That would do it.
So that helps.
Yep, and then 40 from your catcher will also probably do it as well.
From a guy named Cal gets
shout
40 points.
Shout out my favorite catcher in the league.
All right, so moving on to this week, some projections. I'll leave the scores up here for everyone else to kind of take a look at, but let's talk AL first. We got John against Steve, the Tigers Orioles. Who you got in that one and why?
I don't, man. Okay. Excuse me. I was thinking about this, but I convinced myself of both pretty handedly, but I kind of want to see the Tigers do it just because Tigers were always like Steve's had no problem cruising to an AL East dominant victory. Won his division, all that. And John's been, poor guy, has been just shoved in the basement of the whole playoff debacle this entire time. And he's finally getting his shine, getting his flowers. I mean, Steve's got a heck of a juggernaut built, but I mean, I kind of want to see the Tigers build this wild card team that takes it all the way. I think that would be a pretty interesting storyline, I believe. Yeah, totally. I think it'd be great. And I told Steve this in the chat too, but I told him I'd be cheering for John this week. I mean, now that I'm out, AL Central love.
I hate to admit it, but even if
college football,
even if Brendan was in here, I would still want him to win.
You have to. Yes.
It hurts saying that out loud, but I would.
Yes.
And so I'm going John too, but I would be very shocked if this matchup specifically was not close. I think it's very interesting knowing that both of them now lost starts from two of their potentially bigger guys. So I think that's an interesting maybe wrinkle to it, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with Lopez, if he ends up coming back at all, etc. So kind of is what it is. But yeah, I think we're both going Tigers there. On to the NL. I think this one could be a little interesting as well. Duke's got an early lead because of some big days so far. But what are your thoughts there?
Well, okay, so it looks like the early lead's coming from right now. Part of it looks like he's getting a start from Montero.
Yeah.
But he's not. He just wasn't in his pitcher slot. Interesting. I wonder if he's having to make choices for later in the week.
Maybe
where he's having to maybe not start guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the week. Because let's see, he has 1 tonight, 2 going today, so it's gonna be 3 starts by Tuesday.
Yep.
That's a lot for how good his rotation is. It's a lot of guys to get through your rotation quickly. So I don't know. I definitely think it has to be the Dodgers for me.
Okay.
Just legally speaking.
Yeah.
But also just going off of what we've seen in the past, I'm probably gonna go with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Pirates have been crazy. Towards the end of the season, they've been red hot.
It's kind of like
the Dodgers have been the model of dominance and consistency.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is now that it's end of the season, seems like he's Duke's maybe a little bit healthier. Getting some big production out of guys towards the end of the year here in September. I certainly think that he will make it close for sure. But I think I gotta agree with you that again, I would pick, if Jeff was in here, I'd pick Jeff just because of how consistent he's been. Yep. Maybe me picking him last week because of that, for that same reason, it is a curse, or for I don't know, whatever reason. But I think just the fact that Joe has been so good week in, week out, all year, it's hard to pick against him. So I'd probably lead that way as well. Yeah, he also has 3 championships already. Okay, come on, guys. So I think we're not chalk, I guess, on it, but we're in agreement that Tigers Dodgers is where we're leaning right now. Good stuff. Trying to think any other matchups we can call. We don't need to look. We don't need to look. I guess there's not that many actually. Why not? Let's roll. All right, let's roll Survivor bracket. We'll just do real quick. Gary Blue Jays or my Twins?
I have to give you the nod on that one.
Okay, I'm picking myself too, but I don't like it. We'll go Mets Giants.
Jeez. Mets got a rebound from that. We'll put Mets put up 350 and Giants 320.
Okay, I was just saying that
I'm doing scores now.
That's a hell of a matchup. I'm gonna go Rourke on that one. I think he's got just a better overall team.
Fair.
Cardinals Phillies.
I've been so anti-Adam by accident this whole time. I'm gonna go with Phillies by 10.
Wow. Well, legally I have to go Cardinals, so we'll stick there. And then Mariners Yankees.
Yankees.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think I'm going Yankees too. With how Seth's team performed last week.
That's tough.
Since that's the low, that's maybe the floor. I haven't seen Gary score that low long time. His team's been really good all year, so I think I lean Yankees as well. And then the 2 consolation matchups we got here: Padres Rays.
Man, and these are the 2 teams I was deciding who do I pick.
Yeah.
So I feel good about that. I feel the ball knowledge is still intact. We'll go with the Rays.
Okay.
I said the Padres, but I mean, from what I've seen the consolation, Rays have been a little bit stronger, which is my bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. I'd have to look at the actual bracket, I guess, of how it was put out. But the Nats and Brewers are matching up now. I thought they were 1-2, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe the Rays were 2 behind the Nats. Because they were relatively decent.
They were pretty high up.
That
must be the Rockies were in that tier of the best of the worst.
Okay. So I could be, and who knows, record wise, it could be very different. But I'm leaning the Rays as well. Just I think a better overall team. And then Nats Brewers, big one.
Gotta go Nationals. I'm gonna go Nationals on that one.
Because I love what the Nationals have done. I think they have an incredibly strong team. I think they have the better team, but I'm going to give the nod to Zach for a couple of reasons. One, the man has been a dedicated viewer of our podcast all year, so I am more than happy to give him the nod here. But then two, he showed up last week and scored some points. So who's to say, they can't go ahead and do that this week? He's got his first start tonight, so screw it. We'll pick him and go with it. Okay, love it. So that's kind of all we got for playoff stuff this week. Last thing I figured is, I know we talked kind of a little bit about pre-show, stuff we're gonna do for postseason, like when we're gonna talk about that, etc. We had kind of talked about doing. You'll do a tier list, I believe, to end the year potentially. Yes. Something spicy, something fun. We'll talk about the last couple of rounds of playoffs. We have 2 weeks of the championship as well, so there will be a break. That first week of the championship week, we most likely won't do a pod. We'll wait until it's over. But then after that, we'll either include that or maybe we'll do it the week after. We'll maybe have like a opening of the off-season type pod. We'll talk about trades coming back. We'll look at some contracts coming off the books. Who might be maybe not who might be available, but we talked about positions. Maybe just looking at what positions might be strong in the draft, what positions might not be strong, etc. I don't know. Maybe give some way too early predictions for next year.
I'm ready to give them right now.
So I have some good ESPN stuff right there. But yeah, that's about all we got for this week. Anything else you want to throw out there?
No, I'm looking forward to making that final tier list. Right now, I have zero clue what it's going to look like. I'm going to be totally fair.
As it should be.
But listen, I'm going to be straight up with everyone. I've never known what tier list is going to look like before I do it. So, it's really just going to be whatever I feel like.
Off the dome. Off the dome. Maybe you'll show up, no PowerPoint, no nothing, and you'll just start talking. And that's going to be the
verbal tier list will be the next thing. It's just going to be
just on stream.
Yes, correct. A charade tier list. You guys have to guess what it is. That's going to be my new vehicle of getting this thing across.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I mean, kind of sucks. We're in the twilight of this, but hope springs eternal. And hopefully, once this is all over, we're all at 0-0.
Yep.
And that's really what we're all looking for at the end
Everyone
of the day.
Needs a break, right?
To get 500.
Everyone needs a reset. We get to start
play
over.
500 ball.
It's been a grind, so that's the deal, right? We just start over all over again. So cool.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
Thanks for coming out, everyone. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good rest of the night, Cal. As always, I appreciate it, my man. Everyone enjoy the rest of the week. We'll talk to y'all later.
See you.
Peace.
I like to get paid, that's why I work every day. I'll be making money till I'm in my grave. Don't care what they say, I'll buy time with my money. Left to the bank, cause it's funny, the money keep coming, I manifest it. Seen these lyrics and you'll get it. I'm the bank, come invest it. I get tracked and I have it. Money finds me attractive. I'm the type to make commas, turn a profit. I'm the